rank the types of sampling. So the more we compare the concepts that we're learning and think about what's the same and what's different between them, the more able we are to talk about them intelligently. If we get confused between the two categories of information, then it's very difficult for us to explain or to even understand what we have. That's why we've put so many exercises in this chapter for you to compare this concept with that concept, for you to summarize which one's the best, and so forth. It really helps embed the learning in your brain. So, types of sampling. If you have a convenience sample, remember an example of convenience is when you just go to the mall or to the grocery store or to the movie theater, wherever you know people are going to congregate, to the cafeteria at Eastern, wherever you think you might get a hold of a lot of people, and you stand there and you talk to people who come by. Or another example of a convenient sample is when you're online and you click onto a website that asks your opinion about something, and you fill out your opinion, and then it's collecting data from whoever happens to go to the website. That's another form of convenient sampling. So as we know, convenient sample has very high bias, and it is the worst because there's nothing random about who you talk to or who happens to go to a particular site, and not every person has the same opportunity to participate. All right, the next one we want to talk about is random. And random, remember, you list out every person in your population, give them all a number, so number 1, number 2, and so on, so that every person in the population is numbered. And then you go to random.org, for example, and take all of the numbers for your population, jumble the order, and choose the first N, or however many you decided were going to be in your sample, so maybe 50, so you choose the first 50 of those numbers, and that is your random sample. Okay, so in terms of bias, it's very good. It has a low bias because we are using a random number generator from the computer, and every person in the population has a chance to be chosen. So it's actually one of the better sampling methods. Then quota. So quota is related to convenience. So if you always think quota is barely better than convenience, that'll help you remember what happens. Quota and stratified, remember, both of them you're creating categories of people that you're going to talk to, like College of Business males, College of Business females, the number of undergraduate males, for example. I think you did that for your homework. The number of undergraduate females. So when you go through and make those quotas, you're doing that for both quota and for stratified random sampling. The big difference comes once you've decided I need to talk to 10 college business males. Then if you're doing a quota sample, you go stand outside the cafeteria and talk to people until 10 of the College of Business males have come by and talked to you. And it's just the ones who happen to pass by. So it's a convenient sample at that point. So it has a high bias like convenient samples do, and it's barely better than convenience. So we'll call it mediocre. All right, then stratified random, we talked about those stratifications and what you do at this, once you've determined I need 10 College of Business males, is that you list out all of the College of Business males, give them each a number, and then do a random jumbling of those numbers with random.org, choose the first 10, and that gives you your stratified random sample for 10 College of Business males for this example. So as you know, since we're using random number generator to find who gets into the sample, it has very low bias, and it actually is the best of these methods in terms of finding a sample. So that brings us right to how can you tell if a sample is representative? And a representative sample to us means that the results that you can conclude from your experiment or from your survey are valid, because the people you talk to represent the category of people that you're trying to make a conclusion about. Remember, your target population. So when your sample mirrors your target population, it's representative. But we have other ways to tell. So if a sample is representative, our goal is for the sample to mirror the population, and it could be the target population is a better way to say it. For all the important characteristics. So you have to figure out, and I've told you in the past, what are the important characteristics that we're going to look at. But if you're really doing research, you are trying to figure out what characteristics matter for this question that I want to ask. Can anyone answer this question, and it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, you'll have a similar answer? Or is there going to be a difference based on what political party you belong to, for example? Or the college that you're going into as a major, does that make a difference? If it doesn't, you don't need to stratify based on that. But if it does make a difference, then you would want to have that as one of your stratifications. Okay, so to tell if your sample is representative, this is very important. It's a really nice rule of thumb for you to use when you're trying to figure out, is this a representative sample? You can say a sample is representative when every member of the target population, that means who you're considering to make conclusions about, has, and here it is, has an equal chance of being chosen. And let's use that idea for a minute and come back to this table. So thinking about a convenience sample, does every member of the population have an equal chance of being chosen if you go stand outside the movie theater? I'm hoping you're saying no, because not everybody goes to the movie theater. For one, it is expensive. So people without a lot of money are not likely to go to the movie theater very often. Then there are people like me who are very uncomfortable sitting in one place for a long time, so I prefer to watch movies at home. And then there are people who watch movies on demand at home because they can watch whatever they want, have the start time whenever they want, and they can sit in whatever they want to wear on their most comfortable couch. So you've got all kinds of reasons why people don't go to the movie theaters. I think there probably is a group of people who never go to the movie theaters because they think it's for people of a lower class than they are. I'm obviously not one of those people because I'm trying to think how would that be. But I think I don't see really rich people at the movies. I don't generally see movie stars at the movies either. So there's a big group of people who don't go to the movie theater. So if you're doing your sample outside a movie theater and it's convenient, so you're talking to whoever happens to walk up to you, it's the worst way because not everyone has an equal chance of being selected for your survey. So it's not representative. Now, if your population was people who go to movies, that was who your target population was considered to be, then that's a perfect place to collect your data, but you still want to make it a random sample because you don't want your own internal biases to affect who you decide you're going to talk to. Okay, so thinking about random, does every member of the target population have an equal chance of being chosen? 100% yes, because you list out every person in the population and give them a number, jumble the numbers, and choose the first n people. And that's perfect. Every person had an equal chance of being chosen. Okay, quota. Does every person have an equal chance? And because it uses convenience sample once you've determined your quotas, the answer again is no. Convenience sample is selective, and so quota samples are also selective. Random samples then. Remember, the stratified random sample uses random sample, which we determined is representative because every person has an equal chance of being chosen. Therefore, stratified random is like a layer on top of a random sample, and it is even more representative.